If you want to achieve anything in life, you need the holy trifecta of greatness: motivation, discipline, and willpower. But what do you do on those days where you don't feel motivated? When you wake up and you only feel, let's say, like a 2 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10. Because if you fall back on those days too often, you will never achieve any of your goals. So if I were to ask you, how do you push this number up? Would you have a set of reliable steps to at least get you to like an 8 out of 10? Without any external help and only the power of your mind. Because chances are that right now you know more about growing a bigger biceps in the gym than you know about training your mind to be disciplined and motivated. But what is more important? Granted, the big biceps is one of the most important things in life. But I will show you 3 techniques to change that 2 out of 10 into an 8 out of 10. Or even a 10 out of 10. And you will also get a free workout plan for your brain, so you know exactly how to train your mind on every single day. And every day comes with its own guided training sessions, so you always know exactly what to do and can follow along. Alright, so what is the first technique to start moving yourself from a 2 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10? Well, all you really need is this. Because to understand the first technique, you also have to understand that your emotions and your mind are dictated by your nervous system, by the state of your nervous system. And when you're waking up feeling lazy and unmotivated, chances are really high that your nervous system is stuck. And your nervous system gets stuck because it gets bombarded with stimulation all day, every day. Nowadays you can get more stimulation in one day than our ancestors got during an entire year. Negative news, social media, video games, stress at work, stress in relationships, drugs, all that puts your nervous system into hyperactivation. And more specifically, we're talking about your sympathetic nervous system. And when something is stuck, you can push with a plunger to create pressure and flush it out. So the very first step is we give your nervous system a strong push to unclog it. And one thing that does that really well and also works very reliably is the Wim Hof breathing method. Because what it does is that it activates your sympathetic nervous system in a much healthier way. It's like giving your nervous system a very strong but controlled push, and it makes you feel energized and your mind clear and focused. Like any brain fog that you might have just vanishes. The simplest way to explain Wim Hof breathing is taking 30 deep breaths and then staying on an exhale for a long time. But don't worry, in my free workout plan you get 2 guided sessions that take you through every single step, so you always know what to do. And doing just that can move up your number by 1 to 3 points. So let's say after you did that, you're now at a 4 out of 10. A very good start and already twice as good as where you began. But we need to be careful with just activating your sympathetic nervous system. It can be very dangerous to just push, even in a more healthy way. You need to give your nervous system a break regularly so it can regenerate. Because if you don't let it do that, you will end up waking up with a 2 out of 10 again. So how do you give your nervous system a break? Again, with a plunger. But this time, the opposite way. Because to unclog your toilet, you push and then you pull. And push and then pull. And the pull, in our case, is the antagonist of the sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system. When the sympathetic nervous system is responsible for energy and motivation, fight or flight, the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for rest and digest, recharging your batteries. So first you push and activate the sympathetic nervous system, and then you pull and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Push and pull. Push and pull. That way you keep your nervous system squeaky clean and running smoothly like a well-oiled machine. So how do you pull? How do you cool off your engine, so to speak? The simplest way to do this is with our second technique, box breathing. And the simplest way to explain box breathing is to think of your breathing like a box. You inhale for 5 seconds, hold your breath for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds, and then hold your breath for 5 seconds again. And you do that for 3 to 10 minutes until you feel more relaxed and calm. Breathing is one of the simplest ways to control your nervous system, and at the same time also one of the most powerful ways. So when you master your breathing and the control over your nervous system, you're a big step, a massive step closer to reaching your goal. And when you follow the workout plan, you will strike a very good balance between push and pull to keep your nervous system running smoothly. Alright, we have set the groundwork and we're now ready to go
even further beyond!
How do we push the number even higher? And even way higher. But you need to be careful here, because for a long time I had problems with too much motivation. Yes, you heard that right, too much motivation, but it didn't help me, because I would get excited about everything and do 50 things at once. Or I would lose myself in unnecessary details, wasting hours, which kept me from making real progress. So now you may have the energy, but to really achieve your goals in life, you need to understand discipline next, because that way you're able to channel your energy into real work and real progress, and not whatever you get motivated about on that day. And luckily I discovered something about discipline that completely changed my mind about it. And that is that discipline is an emotion, not just behavior. Because again, emotions are what drive your behavior. And if discipline is an emotion, you can train your mind to trigger it more easily. Think about it. What are the most powerful emotions that can drive your behavior? It's the emotions that almost all news runs on. Anger and fear. And they are two of the most powerful. If you feel fear or anger, you often act almost immediately. And since anger and fear are also easily triggered in us, they put as much as they can already even in the headlines, because then you will click on them and you act in accordance with fear or anger. But what about discipline? And if discipline is an emotion, what does it feel like? And how do you trigger it? The problem is, discipline is not triggered as easily as fear or anger, because it is not an emergency situation. To survive, we need it to be triggered easily, to run away or fight as fast as possible. But discipline is a much more complex emotion. It takes much more mental mastery to trigger discipline in yourself. But when you break it down, there are 4 steps to triggering discipline within you. Step 4 is the step that most people go to straight away, but without doing step 1 to 3 beforehand. And therefore, they crash and fall off track, often. Step 1. The first step is cultivating equanimity. At first, you need to practice just accepting the situation as is. Whatever situation you currently are in, even if you really don't like it. I know that can be extremely difficult sometimes, but paradoxically, starting out with accepting your situation is crucial for actually changing it and getting out of it. Why is accepting your situation first so important? Think about it. What is almost always the first step in any guideline for any emergency? Whether you're in a car crash or about to drown. Keep a cool head. Always stay as calm as possible. And you know why that is important? Because then you don't make any rash or stupid decisions and end up hurting yourself even more. You observe your situation calmly and clearly, because then it becomes much easier for you to find a way out. And it also really helps to just accept that whatever you need to do to achieve your goal won't always feel good as well. Doing the work won't always feel great, and that is okay. But where do we go from here? Step 2. Gain certainty. The opposite of doubt. Doubt stops you from acting. And if you're filled with doubt, you worry, you second guess, but you don't act. But certainty will help you move ahead. And you gain certainty by deciding on a general path forward. And together with step 1, you accept whatever comes your way on that path that you have chosen. You see how they work together. You may change your path later in a month or 6 months or 3 years, but for now you've chosen this path. No second guessing. Doing that looks like saying a general statement to yourself. Something like, I will work on my dream income, body, relationship for the next 3 months with all I've got and see where this takes me. Step 3. Gain confidence by making it simple. You do not need to have every little step planned out. In fact, you can't. So for a moment, think about what the next 3 small steps will look like. It's really important to make the steps small enough so that you feel very certain that you can achieve them. Feel free to challenge yourself every now and then to get the excitement going a little bit. But more often than not, make yourself feel confident about what you're about to do, because then you're much more likely to actually do it. You can even make them ridiculously small, like tomorrow I want to get up and brush my teeth and sit at my desk at 8. Step 4 is the step that most people go to straight away, but without doing step 1 to 3 beforehand. Only now comes determination and resolve, now filled with equanimity, clarity, certainty, and with confidence. Remind yourself why this project is important to you. Maybe you want to build a stronger body because you want to feel stronger mentally and physically, and you finally want to feel the confidence and the inner peace that comes with that. Or maybe you want to overcome your social anxiety and connect with people on a really deep and authentic level and have real friends for life. Or a partner that goes through thick and thin with you. Basically, you can boil it down to one simple question. What feeling makes this important for you? Do you want to feel confident, courageous, safe, strong, competent, loved, or honorable? If something is important to you, you are after a certain feeling that this gives you. Because in the end, it's always emotions that make us act. Even the most rational people. Once you have a good sense what emotions you're going for, make a strong decision that you are going to work for that you will go through the process no matter what. That creates that sense of resolve. And that sense of resolve, that is what discipline feels like. And normally that is where most people try to start out, without doing the groundwork before that. They hope that by simply making this firm and strong decision, that will carry them all the way. But you can see that doing steps 1 to 3 before makes step 4 much more powerful. Alright, so even if you only started out at a 2 out of 10, at this point, me or my clients usually are at around a 6 out of 10, which is already way better. And you can do this whatever your circumstances are. All you need is your mind and your body. And that is what real mental strength training is about.
But wait! There's more!
But what if you want to get to an 8 out of 10? Or even a 10 out of 10? We have covered motivation and discipline. And there is a mental strength technique to also boost your willpower. But look, I want as many people as possible to train their mind. Today, many guys go to the gym to train their body and to become a stronger version of themselves. And my hope is that one day, just as many guys go to the mental gym and train their minds to reach their mental potential. And I want you to test out what training your mental strength for 30 days straight does for you. How strong can you feel after 30 days already? How motivated? How disciplined? How strong of will can you be? And what would that mean for your life? So you can find out what your mind really is capable of, even with just the few techniques that I gave you here. Therefore, you will find the 4th technique only in the 30-day workout plan. There, you will also get the secret technique for boosting your willpower for free. I want this 30-day challenge, this No Nut November, at the time of recording this video, to be a first experiment for you, to discover how strong you actually can be, if you know what to do with your mind. So click the link in the pinned comment and get your very own 30-day mental strength training plan.